Greetings, greetings, family. Peace and blessing. It is yours truly, King Amari, and Queen
Amari.
in the building. She almost missed her cue.
I was trying to pull this stuff up.
Grand rising to you, family. It's on once again in the AM, bringing to you Power Couple Mental Fitness, sponsored by Pele Movement. Pele Movement is a ministry that we created, and we focus on your spiritual, your physical, and your financial well-being. Pele is a Yoruba word. It stands for gentle character. And we also focus on Ireriri, which is another Yoruba word, which stands for good character. Hopefully everybody has had a wonderful weekend. Hopefully everybody has kicked off their week with a positive mentality, waking up and getting into your prayer and meditation and ensuring that you start your day out on a positive note, not just your week, but your day. Okay, because the way that you start your day is what paves the way. Okay, so you want to make sure that you get up with a positive mentality, speaking positive affirmations over your life, getting your mind in tune and making sure that you're attracting positivity in your life to set you up to conquer the day, to dominate. You know, that's what kings and queens do. You know what I mean? We take dominion, we be fruitful, and we multiply. You understand what I'm saying? You know, we understand that we're the masters of our destiny and that we're the thermostat. We control the atmosphere, right? So this is the way, you know, go-getters, this is the way we think when we kick off the day. Yes, indeed, family. So hopefully everybody, again, has been doing well. If you would, please, as we always say, if you have a business out there, especially with this pandemic going on, please take the opportunity to ensure that you market your business. Please ensure that you put your business information in the comment block there. My queen and I, we have founded a networking business entitled Synergetic Network Group LLC, where we are your community liaison for entrepreneurs and consumers. We help families build business-based generational wealth via business, inclusive with financial investing. What we do is we bring subject matter experts on the platform to help to empower you in that arena, okay, and in those arenas, okay? So that's what we're here to do, is to help to empower you economically, okay? That's what Synergetic Network Group is here for. So if you have a business and you'd like to highlight that business, please reach out and touch us, my queen, Amari, or I, okay, in regards to coming on the platform and presenting your business or your product or service, all right? So we're here for all of you, okay? Just wanted you to know that our attitude is servitude, family. Okay, we're going to dive in on this topic on today. Today's topic is Kuumba. It is one of the 7 principles. Okay, I don't really like to say Kwanzaa because, as I always say, that it's not limited to Kwanzaa. For those who don't know, it's an African festivity that's celebrated from December the 26th to January the 1st. Each day there's a principle that is reflected upon with the family, okay, to instill Afrocentric moral base within the family, okay, also to establish unity in the family, okay, and that's what it's really all about. You get the children involved in Kwanzaa as well, okay. It's coming up again December the 26th through January the 1st. Also, for those who are shoppers and you want to shop with an African business, okay, our business will definitely, a Kebelon Lifestyle, will be throwing a sale during that time as well, okay. So we're going to celebrate Kwanzaa, everyone together, okay. It's not a religious thing, it's a cultural thing. I'm gonna say it again, it's not a religious thing, Kwanzaa, it's a cultural thing, okay. So I know for some, they're taught that, you know what I'm saying, they're satanic. When I grew up, I was told that. I'm gonna be honest with you, I was, you know what I'm saying. But I'm grateful that I researched things on my own And I come to find that there was nothing satanic about it at all. There was nothing demonic about it at all. It's all culture based. Okay, it teaches moral principles. It teaches unity. You know what I'm saying? It teaches us to love one another, have confidence in one another, you know, to build together as a community, okay, to do for self, okay, to have the knowledge of self, you know, health and wealth, okay. So those are the things that's focused on during that time. However, okay, comma, as I aforementioned, okay, it's not just limited to that festivity, okay. Those principles that we talk about, the 7 principles and the goals of Saba, the 7 principles, okay, are not just limited to that time of the year, okay. Just like some celebrate Christmas and people have a giving spirit during that time, you know what I'm saying? That should be done all year round. That shouldn't just be restricted to a holiday. It should be your way of life. Okay, so we're going to talk about Kuumba on today. Queen, if you would please read the definition of Kuumba, that'd be great. And then we're going to dive in about Kuumba.
Kahuma means creativity, to do always as much as we can,
To do always as much as we can,
in the way we can,
in the way we can,
in order to leave our community
in order to leave our community.
more beautiful and beneficial than we inherited it.
Look at that, more beautiful and beneficial than what we inherited. I want to say Aboye to Baba Jason Edmonds out there. Thank you so much for tuning in, Baba. I appreciate you, man. I want to say greetings to my brother King Reese Rance in the building. Thank you so much for tuning in, family, all of you. Thank you. Okay, so what we're going to talk about is that today, you know what I'm saying, to make our community more beautiful, well, starting it back, bringing it back, you know, to do all we can, you know what I'm saying, as much as we can with what we have. So we understand during this time of the pandemic, you know what I'm saying, that, you know, people fundings are limited. So I want to start out with saying that because of what I'm going to talk about today. You know, I fully understand where people are at economically, okay? So whenever you can afford to do these things, I'm getting ready to lay out on the table as it relates to a family business plan, okay? Please ensure that you do so, okay? Because a lot of these things we're going to discuss today is things that a lot of us do not really think about, okay? What sparked this discussion on this morning, and this AM rather, is that I heard a mother on Facebook, her son was murdered, okay, and she brought out the fact that her son was 30 years old and she didn't have life insurance on him because he didn't have life insurance, okay. And so that really, man, that broke my heart. You know, she was standing in the circle and she was asking the village to chip in to help her to be able to bury her son, all right. And so again, I'm not jumping on anybody. These are just things that we need to take in consideration. In fact, I have people in my network, okay, that can help you to establish a life insurance policy, okay, wills, powers of attorney, okay. I have people in my circle that have access to those services should you need those services, okay. In fact, what I had is a dialogue, okay, Grand Rising, Phyllis George, thank you so much for tuning in. I greatly appreciate that. Thank you. Grand Rising to you too. Peace and blessing be upon you and your family. Okay, so I had this dialogue with my son in the AM, you know, and I had asked my son the question. I posed that to him in regards to life insurance. Okay, how many of us have adult children out there that we have had this dialogue with to see whether or not our child or our children that are of age, okay, has life insurance on them? In fact, you can get with some insurance companies to find out whether or not, for those of you who are with child at the time, okay, those of you who have newborns or, you know, your child is still in the adolescent years, okay, there is companies out there, even for the newborns, okay, that you can research and to find to have life insurance on your child, okay. I'm gonna wait till I get past this generator over here, and then we're going to begin on these things. Yeah, family, we live in a new housing development. All praises give thanks. My queen and I, we just purchased our brand new house last year, man. You know, we were so excited about that. You know, we did that together as a family as well. You know, so my queen and I, we're still on a success high as it relates to being homeowners. Actually, multiple homeowners, to be honest with you. But that's our primary residence. So, you know, we're excited about that, man. You know, it's wonderful to see all this construction going on. And, you know, this is my dream come true, family. But to get back on track, you know, how do we make our community more beautiful than what it is before we inherited it? We do this by what I'm doing right now. And what am I doing right now? I'm sharing empowering information. Okay, I'm sharing information that is relevant, you know, to everyone who it pertains to within the community. You know, that's a husband, that's a wife, that's a father, you know, anyone in that type of position, you know what I'm saying? Even if you're in a relationship where you haven't legally tied the knot, okay, you know, again, that's where the wills and the powers of attorney and everything come in at. And remember, when it comes to a life insurance policy, you know, you can leave your monies to whomsoever you want to, okay? You know what I'm saying? And you can also accompany that with like a will. You understand what I'm saying? But nevertheless, though, we can make our community more beautiful than what it is before we inherit it by doing that, by those of us who have information, sharing it with those in our community, because we understand that, you know, there is a shortage of this type of teaching. Okay, so the only way we can make the community more beautiful than what it is before we inherit it is by us looking at the problem, you know, coming up with the solution, and then we implement the solution to the problem, right? Now I know it may sound very simple, you know what I'm saying, but it's easier said than done, because there is a multitude of us out there that lacks this knowledge. And I believe personally that social media is an excellent way to be able to disseminate this type of information. And also by us sharing and inviting this in this type of information, because a lot of our people in the community are not aware of investing, okay, and things of this nature, okay? So a lot of us, we don't think about these things, okay, until it happened. And listen, I want to share a personal story with you, because, you know, what I'm presenting to you is something I actually experienced, okay? My newborn son transitioned, okay? So what I'm sharing with you is not something that I'm speaking about indirectly. It's something I actually experienced myself personally, okay, as a father. And I had to bury my newborn son, okay? And we had to come up with funding for our newborn son to bury our son, okay? So how many of us are really thinking about it? I know we don't like to think about it, but see, it's not about what you like to think about. Unfortunately, it's just the reality that sometimes things actually happen. I had a friend whose nephew, he was only 4 years old, 4 or 5 years old. He was outside in the parking lot playing, and unfortunately, he wasn't being monitored. And unfortunately, a vehicle hit him and it killed him, okay? You know what I'm saying? That was something that was very tragic. Okay, now you have a 5-year-old child that has to be buried. And again, I know it's not something that you like to think about. And that's why a lot of people like to run away from it, because of the pain of thinking about their loved one transitioning. But it doesn't negate the fact that it's a part of life. It's going to happen. One day we're going to leave here. Okay? Let me get past this generator. All right, now as I was sharing with all of you, I experienced my newborn son, Caleb. My son had transitioned, man. And you know, I had to bury my son. Okay, I'm not looking for sympathy from anybody. You know, if you show me love, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna show love back and show my gratitude for you sending me love. Okay, but I'm trying to make a point that, you know, I wasn't prepared. I wasn't prepared for that. You know what I'm saying? And so this is the reason why I do these type of videos, because the only way that we can help our community to solve these problems is to get our people to start thinking about things that we don't think about until something happens. And then when something happens, you know what I'm saying, we're not prepared for it. You know, just like the mother who lost her son was 30 years old. He didn't have a life insurance policy. So, you know, parents, you got to have these dialogues with your children. Okay, you know what I'm saying? And you got to ensure that your children are covered, and as well as yourself. Not only just your children, but the question is, parents, do you have a life insurance policy? Are you going to leave your child, you know, a bill, or are you going to leave them a blessing? Okay, are they going to inherit debt, you know what I'm saying, or are they going to inherit wealth? Okay, so that's something that you want to really think about. So also, some things that we need to think about too is encouraging our children to be entrepreneurs. Okay, my son and I, we had this dialogue, and the things I'm sharing with you is dialogues I have with my own son. I said, okay, son, you know, do you have life insurance? My son is 21 years old. I asked him this question: do you have life insurance? We got to have these conversations. We have to. Okay, what is your plan for your life? You know what I'm saying? What occupation are you going into? Okay, then after he told me, I say, okay, is that occupation going to leave you is going to leave generational wealth? You plan on having a family in the future? Yes, Dad. Okay, so is that occupation going to enable you to leave generational wealth? Okay, can you live the lifestyle that you truly desire to live off of that occupation? Will that occupation enable you to create wealth? You know what I'm saying? A lot of things are fun, you know, a lot of things we love to do, but the question is, though, will it economically empower us? And I understand that some people, you know, talk about, you know, I'm just happy doing what I'm doing and everything else like that. But you know, what I'm recognizing is that a lot of people are starting to see during this pandemic, it has to be more than something that makes you happy. Okay, you know, a lot of times we're thinking about the now, we're not thinking about the later. You know what I mean? We're not thinking about, you know, the later. We're just thinking about the now. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we're short-term thinkers instead of long-term thinkers. We don't think about these things. Okay, you don't get a lot of shares and invites on videos like this. You know, you get a lot of shares and invites on fights. You know, and a lot of foolishness that's going on. But yet and still, you know, we're still in poverty. We're walking around here whining and complaining and things of this nature. But see, the problem is that we're wasting time. We're wasting time. We're not using our time wisely to actually empower ourselves. You understand what I'm saying? Then we're looking for people to come and start saving us. Okay, we're looking for the politician to come and start saving us. We're looking for the pastors to come start saving us. You know, we're looking for spiritual leaders to give us some spells and to help to dispel, you know, poverty in our life. You understand what I'm saying? But the reality is, you know, faith without works will keep a dream from being birthed, and you'll transition from this earth with that dream and that vision, okay, and that desire still unfulfilled, because you're not doing what it takes in order for it to come into fruition. So that is the questions that, you know, we got to start asking, because the only way we can make our communities more beautiful than it was before we inherited it also is by us, you know, looking at what the problem is and saying, okay, listen, we have a problem with immorality in our community. Okay, you know, we have a problem with people getting high and getting drunk, and, you know, people trying to handle their problems in their lives. You understand what I'm saying? And they're trying to, thank you, Queen Glennon Tate. Queen Glennon Tate, she said, grand rising to you. Great information. Thank you. We appreciate that so much. Queen, you got anything you want to add to the subject?
No.
Okay.
Matter of fact.
All right. So with that being said, family, you know, we got to, you know, sit down and say, okay, The community is hell right now. So what can we do to make the community heaven? How can we create this atmosphere in order for it to be inhabitable? Okay, what can we do to get it out of this spiritual dilapidated state, you know, that it's in? You know, what can we do to solve this problem? Because let the truth be told, a lot of things that we blame on the European person. Okay, is the European person urinating in the hallways? Is the European person throwing trash? Is the European person the one that's putting graffiti on the walls? Is the European person the one doing that? Right? So we understand, you know, that some people, they unfortunately turn to a life of crime to be able to bring in some funding and things of this nature. You understand what I'm saying? I feel, this is me personally, I feel like if we train our people to start creating jobs in our community, then we are going to take care of one another. Okay, Ujima. Ujima is U-J-I-M-A. Ujima stands for collective work. Okay, collective work and responsibility to make our brothers, sisters' problems our problems and to solve those problems together. And see, this is the reason why it's important for us to follow after African principles. Okay, because these lies that we're taught about, that the African way of life is no good, actually, it's the other way of life that is no good, because it's doing us no good. Because what has it done for our community? There's churches on all these different corners, and how has it transformed anything? So please help me to understand that. Okay? So, you know, I feel like if we turn to African principles, if we turn to African spirituality, if we turn to our way of life, okay, it won't make us docile. Okay, it won't make us subservient. Okay, it wouldn't make us put our hopes in some fictitious character coming out of the sky, because we will understand by living by these principles, you know what I'm saying, that it's Ujima. You know what I'm saying? For us to build these businesses, for us to support one another, for us to keep our dollar circulating within the community. You understand what I'm saying? You know, we still looking for the spirit to come and do something for us, whereas we have the power ourselves, okay, to be able to do for self. We have the power ourselves to do for self. You see what I'm saying? And so we're still looking for someone to come out of the sky and come save us. And that's what our problem is. See, our African spirituality don't teach us that. Okay? Our African spirituality has prayers like, you know, help us to be creative and for us to use the abilities that we have and for order for us to monetize on our gifts. This is what our African spirituality teaches us. It teaches us that we've been blessed with gifts, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of times we're praying for us to be brought out of financial deficit, whereas we actually have the product, you know what I'm saying? Because we are the product, we are the branding. Okay, we have gifts, we can sing, you know, we can dance, a lot of us, we can cook. Okay, a lot of us are very genius with our mind, we're creative. We just have to learn how to get our patents, you know, built and to be able to be put on the market and to be sold. See, a lot of us, we have the wherewithal, you know what I'm saying, to be able to bring us out of these situations that we're in. But what we're taught is that we're not competent. We're not competent when we're very well competent of doing for ourselves. You understand what I'm saying? We really are. And one thing this pandemic should have taught us to do is to be more thoughtful and to be more of a long-term person, to look at not just the now, but to look at, you know, the later. Okay, to not just be short-term people, but to be long-term people. Okay, because a lot of us, we're not thinking about these things. And again, I'm not beating anybody up. I understand why we're not thinking about these things. These are just some thought-provoking things for us to start thinking about, to better understand how we can make our community more beautiful than it was before we inherited it. And how we can do that is by encouraging one another to take care of one another, and then not only taking care of ourselves, but taking care of our properties that we have. Okay? You know what I'm saying? So we have to encourage one another. Hey, man, you know, pick up that trash, man. Hey, man, you know, don't throw that down right there. Hey, man, don't be spraying the walls and everything, man. Don't do that, man. You know what I'm saying? Because the reason why a lot of us, when we go, look at this community. Let me show you where I'm at. I'm gonna show you something. Okay, I'm gonna turn the camera around. I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna show you my neighbor's yard that's African, just like me. I'm gonna show you something. Okay, I'm zooming this in. I'm showing you all the African people houses over here in my area. I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna show you their yards. I'm gonna show you their yards. Now look at how well manicured that yard is. And that's an African family right there that live on the corner. Right there in the house right there, that's an African family. Okay, I'm gonna show you another African family house. You see that house right there? That's another African family house. That house right there, that's another African family house. This one right here, that's another African family house. That is an African family house. Okay? Look at that house. Look at that yard. Look at the houses. See, I just wanted to actually show you visually that we can take care of what we have. All of their yards is well manicured. All of their yards is well taken care of. None of them have trash. Okay, I don't have to call the cops on them. You understand what I'm saying? We've been here for 1 year. We've been here over a year, and not one time have we had to tell any of our African neighbors to turn down their music. We never heard them fighting. Okay, if they did do it, they must have been doing it in the house because we couldn't hear it. We don't see their yards trash. When we see one another, we speak to one another. Let me show you another African house. Okay, this house right there is another African house where our own people live at. This is one of my good friends. He come out here, he go running all the time. Every time we see each other, we speak to one another. And this is a African person house in our neighborhood. African. Okay? Hopefully you actually seen that. I wanted to show you proof. That is an African family's home. We speak to each other. You know what I'm saying? We joke around with each other. We not looking each other up and down and saying N-word, what you looking at? And you know what I'm saying? We celebrate each other. Hey, congratulations on your house. They say thank you. We stop and we have casual dialogues with each other, man, and just celebrating. Talk about how beautiful the area is and talking about how we had to get away from all the corruption and all the crime and, you know what I'm saying, and things of this nature. We all come together, we congregate, we just celebrate one another, congratulate one another, and we offer our services to each other. We live in a good neighborhood. We're not messing with each other. We're not bothering each other. Hey, how you doing, neighbor? See? You see that? You see? You see? So it's possible to live together in harmony and unity. You know what I'm saying? He don't look like me, but he's respectful. They always speak to us all the time. You see what I mean? We show love, and they're not loud. We don't ever have to tell them, hey, turn this down. They don't ever have to come over there and tell us, hey, turn your music down. Hey, y'all music too loud. Hey, y'all making too much noise. You know why? Because we're respectful. You understand what I'm saying? The truth of the matter is a lot of the hell that's in our community is because the African has created it. Okay? We're a part of the problem. We're not the total problem. Okay, but we're a part of the problem. And then when you ask somebody respectfully to turn down their music, they want to fight. Then you got to call the cops on them. Then they want to try to start a family fight with you because, oh, you know what I'm saying, you a snitch. And, you don't ask them to turn down their music nicely. I'm telling you what I knew. I grew up in the hood. I'm from Rochester, New York, 585. Grew up off of Joseph Ave. Grew up on Conkey. Grew up in Gateway. Okay, grew up on off of Childlight, grew up off of East Main Street over near East High School, you understand? You know, right next to Kinston Street. I grew up in the hood. Okay? My wife, she seen people getting shot in her front yard. Get shot to death. They stuck my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, you know, stuck my sister-in-law, all of them up with guns, trying to rob them. Did a Caucasian person do that, or did we do that? That was us doing that to each other. You understand what I'm saying? We got to get the love back, man. You know, we have to get morals back. You understand what I'm saying? We have to get the corruption out of our hearts, man. And that's where it starts at. It starts in our hearts. You understand what I'm saying? And we got to share this type of information and help one another to shape our thoughts so we can start understanding we're not each other's enemy, man. You know what I'm saying? So first it starts in our homes. You understand? Teaching our children how to be respectful, how to respect their elders. You know what I'm saying? Teaching our children about their culture, not depending upon a public school to teach family-oriented criteria. You understand what I'm saying? To teach family-oriented content is actually what I was really looking for. You know, that is our responsibility to teach our children African-centered curriculum. You know, you understand what I'm saying? And see, that's the problem. It's so embarrassing when we complain about that curriculum not being in school, when unfortunately, you know what I'm saying, we don't understand that traditionally that's our responsibility, not the school. See, that's what we're missing out on. Let me see what's going on out here, family. I want to show some love to all you guys. Let's see. Queen Phyllis George says, yes, we are that Willie Lynch drill. Yes, we are. That Willie Lynch drilled some things into us that was generational. That's true. She has a very good point. We need sun, vitamin K, but y'all need trees. Oh, man. I say, oh, let's see. Queen Glenda Tate Williams, she said, we have the power to do it ourselves rather than wait on something or somebody. So true. All praises be. She said, awesome houses. Now, see, look at my house. And I want to show you my yard. I want to show you guys my yard. Not to show off, but I just want to show you guys my yard real quick. Our house. See, this is our house. You know what I'm saying? This is my yard. I just want to show you because I'm not going to be talking about everybody else's yard. And you like, yeah, okay, brother Ma. What you doing over there? you know, this is our home. This is all of our property right here. That's our yard right there, family. This is our home. This is my queen and our castle right there. Okay. So, you know, I just want to show you, man, we upkeep our property as well because we have pride in what we have. You know what I'm saying? You know, we're grateful for what we have, you know, and also my mother raised me to be a clean fellow. Okay, my mother, she didn't play that, man. I couldn't even go outside unless my room was straightened up. You understand what I'm saying? And you know, my elders taught me to clean up, to do yard work and things of that nature. So, you know, I was the type of person that I didn't believe, you know, in messing up my community in that fashion. But unfortunately, I got caught up with the wrong crew and listening to the wrong thing. And unfortunately, I became a menace to society instead of being, you know, a blessing to society. You know what I'm saying? I created the hell that, you know, the atmosphere that we lived in. And see, I'm a former hustler, okay? I'm a former drug dealer. So when I'm talking to you, I know what I'm talking about, family, because I was that guy that was causing the problems. And see, now what I'm doing is making my community more beautiful than what it was before we inherited. Because see, before I went to go gangbang, I used to listen to NWA. Okay, you know what I'm saying? I used to listen to Onyx. I used to listen to gangster rap and everything like that, you know, and I used to listen to those lyrics, and what it did was, you know, it set the atmosphere for us to go kill, or, you know what I'm saying, for us to go hurt somebody, you understand what I'm saying? Or for us to do riotous things, you understand what I'm saying? You know, so I know, I've been there, I've done that, you know what I mean? And so this is the reason why I'm able to talk from this perspective, because see, I go to the juvenile detention centers, family. I actually talk to our youth. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not just on Facebook. You understand what I'm saying? You got to understand that in a juvenile detention center, you know, you got to get permission from the state, man. So you just can't go in there and start recording everything. You know what I mean? You can't do that. You have to get permission from the state. They have to get a written, permission from the state in order for them to be able to record in there. So that's the reason why, you don't see me doing those type of things. But when I was in South Florida, that's what I did. And when up here, I'm a part of a mentorship program called Rise. You understand? And I had these dialogues with these young men. I asked them who know what insurance is. You know what I'm saying? I asked them who knows what equity is. I asked them, have you been taught how to save? I asked them these questions. You understand what I'm saying? And a lot of them say no, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm just asking them questions. Say, did you learn your culture at home? Did you learn anything about our history at home? A lot of them say no. You understand what I'm saying? So what I'm telling you is from what I know. Okay, I was also a part of, the OIC South Florida. They invited me to come out to be a speaker to those young people. You know what I'm saying? And those were teenagers, and some of them were adults, young adults in their 20s and, and things of that nature, almost 30 and stuff like that, okay? And I would talk to them, and I would have these dialogues with them. You know what I'm saying? And I would ask them these questions about, what's going on with their life, what's going on at home, and some of them would literally tell me, hey, man, it's good to hear this, but when I leave here, I got to go back. My mom is on drugs. You understand what I'm saying? We barely have food in my house. You know what I mean? I'm the one that's taking care of my brothers and my sisters. Okay, so what I'm telling you is, family, I know. I grew up in that atmosphere. Well, my own friend broke into my house because of his family being on drugs so bad, he broke into my house just so he can eat. True story. True story. So I'm on here because I care. I'm on here because I recognize what our problem is, and we as adults, we got to fix the problems that some of us started, okay? And some of us didn't start these problems. However, okay, we see the problem, and the question is, what are you going to do about the problem? See, that's the question. Use these platforms to do something that's going to empower our people, that's going to help our people spiritually, physically, and financially. Because we need help. We need help big time. A lot of us are lost. We don't know which direction to go in. Okay, a lot of us are brainwashed. Okay, a lot of us have been tricked into believing these lies that come from religion. Okay, it have us giving away our rent money, have us giving away our car note money, our utilities money. Okay, a lot of us are tricked and fooled. Okay, we're following after these lies that have us messed up, you know what I'm saying, these fairy tales, and have us teaching our children these fairy tales about Santa Claus, about the Easter Bunny, and, lie after lie after lie after lie. Okay? This religion thing, it may seem like a solid shelter, okay? It's just like, Halloween coming up. Is it a trick or is it a treat? You know what I'm saying? It give you all these good things. Oh, feed the poor and all these other things. Okay, but what about these verses that tell you if they say come serve any other god, that you should kill them with your hand? You should stone them. What about the verses that say if they don't believe in what you believe in, you shouldn't sit down and even eat with them, or you shouldn't even let them inside of your house because they don't believe in the same thing that you believe in? Do you understand that these type of teachings actually break up families, man? Do you know that in Ifa, there's a teaching about us not judging anybody because there's various perspectives, and we teach family oriented. So if you're a Christian, we don't condemn you because you're a Christian. We don't isolate you because you're a Christian. Okay? The only people that we keep away are negative people who are out to hurt. And see, then that's understandable. You know what I'm saying? If somebody is a thief and they're going to steal something from your house, I got it. If somebody a troublemaker, they're a gossiper, they always want to fight, they get drunk, I get it, I got it, I understand. But to isolate your family because they practice Ifa or because they practice voodoo, and those type of teachings teach us to be loving, to be people of harmony like I'm doing right now, to be considerate of your family, to bring joy into the community, okay, to bring unity in the community, to teach us to be centered and balanced, to teach us to have a cool head, to teach us not to be ill-tempered and, want to fight just because somebody made a mistake and stepped on your sneaker. You understand what I'm saying? See, we got to understand the problems that we have. We have anger management problems, okay? A lot of our people have some mental issues, okay? What you looking at me for? They ready to fight. You understand what I'm saying? We have problems. We call ourselves the female dog word. We call ourselves the N word, okay? You understand? Those things that get our children locked up, we glorify it because it make us money. And I'm talking about gangster rap specifically. And yes, you're going to hear me talk about this numerous times because understand it has to be repeated. It has to be repeated. You know, we have to comprehend these things. We have to get these things in our spirit. It has to be repeated because if you know anything about something being repeated, you know, they say it has to be repeated numerous times in order for it to actually become a part of your consciousness. So it has to be repeated. Okay, how do we make our community more beautiful than it was before we inherited? Okay, we stop clinging on to these labels that we received from those who enslaved us. We're not black. Okay, you're not African American. You're not Negro. Okay, you know you're not, you know. Okay, you're not Afro American. You know what I'm saying? You're none of that. You understand? So you got to find your self-identity. You got to find out who you truly are. Okay, and that's another reason why we're lost. We don't even know who we are. The sad thing about it is people want to argue with you about whether or not we black, and the sad part about it is they don't even understand that was a label we never called ourselves. Okay, it was the European who started these race titles that gave us these labels. Okay, and African American allegedly was started by Jesse Jackson. It's still inaccurate. It's still inaccurate. Okay, if you standing in a garage, do it make you a car? So just because we're in America, it doesn't make us an American. We still African. We're just Africans that's born in America. Okay, and so our problem is we have to get back to the root of things. Okay, and our problem is we don't go back to the root of things. We're taking, you know what I'm saying, this falsified, this false sense of what African is, and because we don't have teachers to teach us, okay, a lot of us are lost and we're following after these things that we call so-called black consciousness. There's no such thing as black consciousness. You understand what I'm saying? Either you're culturally conscious or you're totally ignorant to, you know, your culture. You need to be culturally conscious, not black. That's a color. Or you look at the dictionary definition and say colorless, you know what I'm saying, or what happened was, you know, what have you. But the truth of the matter is you need to be culturally conscious. You understand what I'm saying? Not black conscious. Okay, we don't need a black agenda. We need an African agenda. Okay, that's what we need. You understand what I'm saying? That's the agenda that we need. We need a family agenda. Okay, we got to be restored, man. We have to be Nia. One of our principles, you know what I'm saying, in the 7 principles, the Ngozi Saba, the 7 principles is Nia. To restore our people back to their traditional greatness. This is how we make our community more beautiful than it was before we inherited it, because when we inherited it with our people in ignorance of their spirituality, of who they are spiritually, of who they are naturally, okay, of economics. Okay, so the only way we can make it more beautiful is to eradicate ignorance and to work together and to establish teachings that originated in Africa, not this made up African and this so-called African and America stuff. No, we need to go back to the root of our culture that is true African teaching, like in Ifa, and talking to our people over in Africa, okay, who has the knowledge of self, okay, of who they are, okay, like the Zulus and the Ashanti and, you know, the Bantu, okay, and the Akan people, the Awe people, the Fanti people. And I have a brother coming on this Wednesday, family, who's going to be talking about the Awe way of life. Okay, I'm going to bring you authentic African culture, man. I'm going to give you true, authentic. I'm going to give you true, authentic African culture. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to give you black power. I'm going to give you African power. That's what I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you African power. I'm not going to give you, see, because a lot of us, understand this, man. Our ancestors only had a certain level of knowledge. This is what a lot of us don't understand. Our ancestors only had a certain amount of knowledge. You got to understand who they were raised by. If they was raised by people who were saying black power, they going to say black power. Okay? This is the reason why, just like our parents, right? If we was raised by parents that was ignorant, then we're going to be ignorant to certain things because our parents don't know. So how can they teach them something that teach us something that they didn't know? So it's a domino effect. It's a domino effect of these certain terms, you know what I'm saying, that our ancestors took on, okay, and even our elders today that's still here with us, okay, that don't understand these things. They meant well by what they were saying about what they were doing. They meant well, but see, there's another level, okay? You know what I'm saying? We're not black. We're not African American. Okay, there's a specific people family that you came from, like myself. I'm a Khan. I'm from the Ashanti people. Okay, I'm Yoruba. Okay, also in my family, my grandfather, he intermarried with the Tsalagi people, who is considered to be Cherokee, okay, which that's not their name. Really, they're called Tsalagi. You see what I mean? So that's what I mean. That is a Eurasian term. Cherokee is a Eurasian term, okay? Seminole is a Eurasian term. It's not Seminole. There's Shimole. How do I know? I spoke to the people that's indigenous from the clan. And she was a part of the Wind clan, the elder that I spoke to. And she said it's Shimole. It's not Seminole. Do you see this? You know, all this time, all these years, we've been using terms, we've been using jargon that we didn't even understand that actually came from the one who actually enslaved us. It didn't come indigenously from our people. Because think about it, if our people were able to teach us indigenous teaching, then we will all know our language and we will all know exactly where we come from. So see, it's a reason why we don't know these things is because we were cut off from these things. So this is the reason why we have to familiarize ourselves with ourselves. This is why I'm bringing on my brother this Wednesday. Okay, you want to make sure you tune in at 4:00 p.m. Central Standard Time, Facebook Live, okay, who's going to bring you Awe culture, because I want you to get authentic culture. Both of his parents are Awe. He's not mixed with European. He's not mixed with so-called Indian, and for the record, they're not Indian, okay? In order for you to be Indian, you have to come from India. Okay, so these people that we keep calling Indian, we keep saying that we're not Indian because they didn't come from India. You understand? So these things are important. Why it's important? Because guess what? When you start relinquishing the lies, that makes room for the truth. I'm going to say it again. When you start relinquishing the lies, then it makes room for the truth. This is the reason why I'm exposing you to authentic African culture and teaching. A lot of people call these things African studies, okay? And it's my responsibility to correct the error. Some people are afraid to say these things because they're afraid to offend their brothers and sisters in the Black Power movement. It's not to offend nobody, okay? It's for us to go another level in our knowledge and wisdom and understanding of things. That we have we still following after these false pretenses, these false perceptions of what Afrocentric way of life is. If we're still calling ourselves black and we say that we're studying Africa, then I have to question where you got your source of information from. Because every African that I know, that's Igbo, that's Zulu, that is a Khan, that's Yoruba, none of them call themselves black. This is the reason why I say you have to go back to the source and you have to interview them and ask them that question. Do they call themselves that? You know what I'm saying? This is how I found this stuff out. None of them say that. Even a brother who I know that's Igbo, okay, that's a Khan, you know, say that they don't call themselves Hebrew. They don't even speak Hebrew. They speak Tree. Tree is not Hebrew. Do you know there's different variations of Tree? Do you know they have like Ashanti tree and Fanti tree? Do you know that? There's different tree, and tree is TWI. But see, I know that because of the field work that I do, and this is the reason why I bring on people on the program that's organically from Africa, that was born and raised in their culture. Because a lot of us that's in America, we get misinformed. We don't even pronounce the words right. We say ginami, and it's kinami. Ginami. You understand what I'm saying? It's not ginami. You understand what I'm saying? Right? So this is the reason why it's important, family. You know, what does it have to do with beautifying? Because it beautifies the mind. These type of teachings beautify the mind. It takes the ugliness about ourselves out of our mind, and what it does is it beautifies us. So when we start teaching our culture the right way, in the right light, and we start sharing spiritual teachings and information that debunks the lies about it being wicked, and people start saying, oh man, I thought this was wicked. It's not. I haven't heard this brother teach anything yet that's satanic or devil or wicked or anything that I shouldn't embrace. See, this is how we beautify our community. We have to take away the ugliness of our people first, and then we can beautify our community. We have to take away the ugly thoughts that we have first, and replace it with beautiful thoughts about ourselves individually and collectively, and then we can beautify our community. But it starts here first. It starts here first. That's right. Queen said, not an Israelite, not black, not a Jew. And guess what? Listen, family, you know, to leave it on this note too, some of them say they're Jew, but listen, there is no J in their Hebraic tongue. So how are you a Jew? There is no J in the Hebraic dialect. There's no J. Just like in Chi, some of you may not notice, but in Chi, in the Yoruba language, there's no Q. There are certain letters in the English alphabet that do not exist in African languages. That's the reason why when the African learns English, do you understand? This is the reason why a lot of us have a problem with talking English. It's not because we're uneducated. Even our own people throw that negative light on us. It's because we have a problem with it, because our subconsciousness and our DNA, we're still connected to our ancestral DNA. And so there are certain letters, okay, that don't even exist in our language, which is the reason why a lot of our people, when they learn English, they have a hard time talking, because there are certain words that don't even exist in their language. They never pronounced in their life. This is the reason. Okay? So I love you all, family. You know, thank you all for being tuned in. You know, I'm a tune out here because I can get a little long-winded when it comes to stuff like this. So I'm gonna have to cut it off because I have so much information that I really want to share with you that can be shared, you know, in this session here. But those who want to continue to learn, okay, to go to our YouTube channel, Uwa Pele Movement. Okay, we have plenty of information there. It's a playlist called Education there. Also Al-Kebalan Culture. Okay, where you'll see the interviews of me actually interviewing those who are Akan, okay, those who are Ashanti, okay. My one brother, that's Yoruba, all right. The Zulu sister, unfortunately, she don't do interviews, you know what I'm saying, on social media outlets. She don't do that. So unfortunately, I don't have that footage for you for me to be able to share that with you. But my Igbo brother, he'll be coming on shortly. Okay, soon as he get free, I'm gonna have my Igbo brother come on, and he's gonna come on. Okay, and he's straight from Africa. He was born and raised in Africa. Okay, he's gonna be coming on. He's gonna share some things with you as it relates to the Igbo culture. Okay, so just stand by, man. I have a lot of wonderful things lined up for you. Okay, so you know, stay blessed, family. I love you all, and remember, continue to study to show yourself approved. All right.